Thanks for joining me today. Debbie Martin here from Debbie's Scrapbooking Buddies, and we are going to be making the Wonderful Day project recipe. I was privileged enough to actually create this for Creative Memories this month, and super excited to share it with you today and how to make it. Let's get started. So you're going to need 3 pieces of paper out of the Wonderful Day paper pack. I picked 2 of the same, so I'm using the words today. Then I'm going to pick one that's got a lot of contrast, okay? So this one, and we're going to do a bronze shimmer. So you can get the instructions from your favorite advisor, get this project recipe that I was privileged enough to do for Creative Memories. So I'm showing you how to do it today. So once again, if you need this, contact your favorite advisor, or there's a link below for me if you don't have one. So let's get started. We are going to start by cutting the border pieces first. So we are using the brand new square link punch. Okay. And we need 6 of these. So if you haven't used the border maker system before, all you do is lift it up, put the arm underneath. There's a big groove and a little groove on here. Let me hold it up so you can see it. And there's also a big groove and a little groove on here. So you just put it in there and bring it down and punch. And there's 1. We're going to do that 5 more times. Now, if you don't have the square link punch, you can use any of the chain punches that comes off of the paper. But this is a really fun one that just came out, so I suggest getting it. Okay, there's 2. And 3. 3 and 4. And if you haven't got a chance to check out this new Wonderful Day paper pack, it is gorgeous. I think it would be great for weddings. Because it's all neutrals, you can literally add whatever your color is into your picture, and you're done. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure there's nothing left in there. This is 5, and we need 1 more little piece of paper stuck to that. Now these are kind of cool too. These almost look like Legos to me. I think I got to play with this a little bit more, but those are kind of fun, the leftovers. Love to see what you're going to do with that. If you've got an idea for those leftovers, put it in the comment below. Okay, let's double check, but I think that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is the stuff we don't need. We do not need the rest of this paper, so you can set that aside. And we can set all of this aside. And you're going to grab whatever piece of paper you chose that we're going to be cutting up. Okay, this is a really fun way to cut this, but you are going to need to watch, and you're definitely going to need to have Post-its. Okay, so you can decide which direction you want that to go. And you're going to want to grab Post-its along with this little notepad. And then we're going to grab our handy dandy layout. So we are going to be doing some diagonal cuts. You're going to want to, as you cut it, mark it. Okay, so watch how I'm doing this. We are going to, I don't think it makes a difference which other way, because we're going to be using both sides of the paper. So I'm just going to put the paper in this direction. You need a 2 by 12. So the paper's already 12. We're going to cut a 2-inch strip. Now, the first cut, let me bring it up so you can see it, goes from the diagonal right corner to the bottom left corner. So we're going to put this corner up here to this corner down here. So I'm putting that little line right there on where it's going to cut, and you can bring your sight guides down to make sure that you're going over the corner on both sides. Okay, just like that. So the upper right-hand corner to the bottom left-hand corner. So there's our first cut. So now we're going to mark these pieces before we even move them. This is going to be A. This bottom piece, and this is the important part, okay? So don't think, oh, I can skip this part, because I don't think you can. A and B, set those aside. We're gonna do that same thing again, 2 inches. And we're also doing it from the upper right to the bottom left. So put it there on your guides. And we're gonna mark those. Pull this over. So this is gonna be C. And this one is going to be D. Now, these are gonna be on the reverse side. Because you can tell that by the handy dandy kind of side. So to not get us confused, we're actually gonna flip it over and put C. We're gonna flip this one over and we're gonna put D. This will make it a little easier when you start putting all the pieces together. And I normally don't mark my pieces in a project recipe, but this one, it's a little important, okay? So once again, the 2-inch line. Now this time we're gonna cut it from the upper left-hand corner to the bottom right-hand corner. Get that on the lines. We're gonna pull this over. Now, both of these are also reversed. Okay, so this is going to be E. So grab one of your Post-its off, E. And we're gonna flip this one over, and this is gonna be F. Find the sticky side right there. And then set those aside. Now we're gonna do one more time. We're gonna do a 2-inch cut. And it's going from the upper left-hand corner to the bottom right-hand corner. So we've done 2 one direction, and now we're doing 2 the other direction. Now, these are not reversed, so grab your handy dandy Post-its. You can write straight on here. The black would be a little hard to see. And you'd want to make sure that you're using a pencil if you're doing that, so that you can erase it later. Okay, so this one is G and this is H. Now these two, this should leave you with a 4 by 12, and we're going to cut that into 2 4 by 6 mats. So simply turn that this direction. Okay. There we go. So we've got everything marked, and now we are about ready to start putting everything together. Okay, so grab your 2 pieces of paper. This is the fun part. Whatever pieces of paper you chose, let me make sure we're still on the screen. Yes, we are. And then you're going to go back to your guide. Also important again is knowing which pieces are going where. So I'm going to leave it right here so you can see. And let's grab piece A. Okay, so here's piece A. We're flipping it around. So we're not going to stick anything down yet. We're just going to lay our pieces out. Now we need piece E. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to flip it around. And I'm going to leave the markers on there just for a second so you can see how it all comes together. Now we need piece H. Okay, so there's H. And we need piece D. Okay, so there we go on that. Then down here we're looking for piece G. So find G, it's going to flip over. And we need piece C. So that's going to go right there. Then we need piece F. Just like that. And piece B. Excellent. So now you've got it where you want it. You can take your little pieces off if you want. And then we're going to start sticking them down. Now you can use Repo, you can use regular. I'm going to use Repo just in case I don't get it straight, I'd be able to move it a little bit. And if you haven't used repositionable tape, you are going to love it. Okay, so we're gonna bring this up like this, and it's gonna go right in the corner, straight down there, and bring it all the way across. Here, we're gonna do this again. We flipped it over, and I wanna get a little bit on the corner, so I'm gonna bring it off the table just a smidge. Bring this back up here. Line it up with the edge and bring it all the way over here. That's a totally cool look, isn't it? And let's do H. So you don't want to go too far in advance by taking the pieces off, because then you're going to forget what you were doing. So that's my little tip to you. We're going to bring this up here, put it right in the corner. Keep it nice and straight going all the way across there. And we're going to bring this piece right in here. And flip it over and put our adhesive on. Ooh, this looks like it's a little crooked, so let's just, a good reason to use repo on that. And bring this back over, and you're putting that right in the corner. And bringing it all the way over here, like that. And let's do it on the bottom here. So you can really do this with anything. You're just gonna wanna make sure there's a big contrast, because you're only using one piece of paper. A big contrast between the front and the back of the paper to get this very cool look, okay? And we're flipping that over. You wanna make sure you're flipping over the right side before you put the adhesive on. And bringing that over here. Just like so. And our last two pieces. And put that here on the bottom. So if you are liking this video, make sure you like it and subscribe, because I do videos several times a month with new techniques and fun pages. So just click the subscribe button and you won't miss any of the ideas that I do. I started my YouTube channel because I would have weird ideas that I would come up with, and I'd show my customers and they're like, oh, it's so cool. And then 6 months later, they come back to me and say, oh, how do you do that? And I'm like, oh, I forgot. So I thought, hey, if I had a channel, I could just send people back to my channel. Okay, so now we've got all of our pieces putting on, and we're ready to start putting on these fun pieces, okay? So we're gonna, I tell you right in the instructions right here, we're gonna do 3 here and 3 here. So this is where if you're working on a double mat, it's gonna come in super handy, okay? So let's go to here using repositionable tape. And here are the border pieces. And here are the first 2, 1 1/4 inches from the outer edge. So let's go ahead and put adhesive on that. And I am using the repo because that's just super easy. So let's double check 1 1/4. Okay, so here's the 1 1/4. I'm lining the edge of it up on the 1 1/4 on the top and the 1 1/4 on the bottom. Okay, we're gonna next piece. So we're gonna do the same thing on this side. So we don't have to remember, let's just do both of them at the same time. Okay, so come over here, 1 1/4, which is right there. And 1 1/4 is right there. And our next piece is gonna be 2 1/2. So put your adhesive on there. So there's 1, 1, 2 1/2. So we're gonna line that up on the 2 1/2. Bring it up here. And oopsie, that's why we use repo, because it's stuck down on its own. So let's just pull that back up and do 2 1/2. There's 1, 2 1/2. Making sure your paper is straight on your board is super important too. 2 1/2 and 2 1/2 on this side. Put your adhesive on. And over here, 2.5 and 2.5. And the last one is going to be 3 3/4. Once again, you can get this project recipe by chatting with your advisor, and she can get you a copy of it. She can get you a kit if you need it. So 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 is right there. Make sure it's nice and straight. 3 3/4 and 3 3/4 over here. Then we are going to start adding our mats and our photos. So 3 3/4 is right here and right here. Okay, so then we're going to be adding our first 2 mats for our first 2 pictures. So I'm putting them right over this, okay, so that they're kind of centered. And then right in here, you're going to be able to put 4 by 6 photos, okay, which I am just going to grab so you can see what those exactly look like on there. So your 4 by 6 photo is going to go right here. And you're going to have another 4 by 6 photo right next to it. It's going to go right in here. So that the amount of space that's left in there, you should just have just a smidge in between those two. Then we're going to have a photo right here. So the size of this photo is going to be 3.5 by 5.5. Because remember, we did a 4 by 6 mat right here. So you can see how the pictures go on and everything. Let's go ahead and stick these down, and let's get our stickers and our foam squares out, and let's use a few little fun things with that. So let's stick this down. Hope you enjoyed the project recipe. Once again, I had the pleasure of making these for Creative Memories this month, which was very fun. And let's just put that one right there. Let's put the other one right over here. So when you're doing this, if you want to line them up, you can also line them up nice and straight here. I've got it just a smidge above the 3, which I'll want to do the same thing on the other side. So we line up our paper nice and straight. Just about like that. So let's go ahead and add some fun stickers. So down here, let's use Family is Where the Heart Is. Love this. I also love foam squares. If you know me, you know I love foam squares. And now I just can't find my foam squares. So where did they go on my table? Yeah, right here is where I would use foam squares, right here. But because I don't have them upstairs with me, I am just going to go ahead and put that down right like that. We've got a little joy sticker here, and I think up here we're going to do Better Together. Better Together. I would also foam sticker this too. I'm going to put it about right there because my picture is going to go right there. So let's put that right in that space right there. And then you're going to want to add just a few little fun things. So grab yourself maybe a little something to stick underneath here. If I had a foam square here, that would be a little bit easier to do. And I don't know, maybe a little, let's put a little circle there. And maybe something a little, since we've got one of those here, let's throw this one over here behind this. Once again, if we had foam squares, this would be much easier to do. But not everybody likes foam squares, so that is totally up to you. I like that. And then maybe a little brown one down here. And there we have it. We have completed it. Finished putting your pictures on. And I hope you enjoyed this wonderful day project recipe. And happy scrapbooking.